In Africa in 2015, Africa Revisited, I'm in the most diverse ecosystem and resilient ecosystem in the world. The ecosystem that my ancestors, human beings, evolved from and traveled out of. I am so glad to again return to Africa. So nature is beautiful and complex and even inspiring, but also very vicious and very raw. And I find all of this quite beautiful, but one cannot be dewy-eyed and sentimental about it, and you will see all this in the following video. Everyone knows that the cheetah is the fastest animal on the planet, gaining up to 70 or even 75 miles per hour. But what is often not realized is that the cheetah is also very cunning. It wouldn't be good enough to be fast alone, because she would tire within 10 seconds and collapse unless she can figure out how to gain an advantage on the prey that is also very fast, in this case the gazelle. She first has to gain an advantage, and when she goes after the prey, at first she's going at a relatively slow speed for her, and then puts on the afterburners once the prey realizes that she's on the chase. Look at the way she moves with such alacrity, and the gazelle does a juke to get around from her, and she adjusts to that juke and stays right on the gazelle, ready for the kill. And if she can't catch that gazelle within 10 seconds, she will collapse and lose the race, because the gazelle has staying power and the cheetah does not. The cheetah must achieve her goal immediately. And then she kills the gazelle quickly. And after the mother makes the kill, the cubs join in for the meal. And all of this family is fed again and will not have to hunt again for another day or two. Meanwhile, the eagles and other animals are looking to take advantage of this meal and steal whatever food they can. And so one of the cheetahs always has to stare around and watch for intruders. Since it requires such cunning on the cheetah and not just speed, she has to teach her cubs how to do this. Watch how hopeless these cubs know that they're fast, and they love that they're fast, but that's not enough to catch a meal. They're even trying to chase the smallest of the Tommies they can find, and that Tommy jukes around and fools them, and they find it very hard, just even with the two of them, to corner the Tommy and finally get it down. But even when they get it down, they don't know how to kill it, and the Tommy escapes again. They got it many times, they caught it, but they couldn't kill it, and the Tommy just keeps escaping and making them look rather foolish, as a matter of fact. Until Mother steps in. Mother finally makes the kill, they have something to eat, and they've had a day of learning at cheetah school. I look forward to waking up every day out in the African wilderness, smelling the fresh air and not knowing what I'll find next. On this day, we found a 4-hour-old elephant baby, not even knowing how to suck yet, its trunk getting in the way, being protected very carefully by all the adults in his family, trying to figure out where the mother's nipple even is and having a hard time doing that. There, finally, he's found the mother's breast, and these baby elephants are really in danger unless they're constantly protected by the great big adults. Once they're adults, there is no predator that can pose any kind of a threat to the elephant except for man. The elephant lives in relative peace because of her commanding strength. And she uses that commanding strength to protect the baby that isn't really so safe. ostriches just seem so aloof, with their head up high, prancing through the Serengeti, not bothered by anything, with their beautiful colors, just picking up food off the ground. The elephants are really not endangered by any predator, and they're probably the only animal in the Serengeti that can just have a good time playing around and not to have to worry about being eaten. They are majestic, enormous creatures, weighing up to 12 to 16 tons, and they're able to become so big and so strong by eating just branches and acacia leaves and acacia trees. They basically live on a diet of wood, and somehow or other, in this miraculous way, they become giants, impervious to any threats in the African wilderness. They can play in the pond, spraying each other, having a good time, truly because of their strength. There's beauty everywhere. The flamingos across Lake Ndutu, the elephants with a blue sky behind them and a rainbow in front of them, at the end of the day where a big rain shower has occurred, a full double rainbow with bright lights on the yellow acacia trees. A bright red sky to the east as the sun is trying to set in the west, where rain clouds are forming so that there will be another rainstorm again, forming more rainbows. The most amazing scene in all of Africa, perhaps all of the world, is the giant zebra and wildebeest great migration from east to west and then from west to east throughout the year to follow the rainfall and to find water. Huge herds of these animals are majestic to watch, and they represent, however, in vicious Africa, food for the lions and leopards. They are ready and easy prey in huge numbers, and the lions and the leopards will not go hungry as long as there are these great migrations. Now, how do these animals even feed on anything in this arid area? Well, it's because the dung beetles take their dung and they roll it in balls to lay their eggs in, and they fertilize the Serengeti. Without these zillions of dung beetles, there wouldn't be any of these animals because there wouldn't be any kind of nutritious grass for these 1.5 million wildebeests and zebras to live on. Guinea fowls are so beautiful and so plentiful, and they're everywhere watching the Great Migration, just as we do. These animals don't seem to even know we're around. But the lions do, and the leopards do. And here's what's left of an unlucky zebra that was having a good time migrating the day before, and now is simply lion food. This is the beauty and the viciousness of Africa and of the wilderness and of nature. Nature is just not all dewy-eyed. Nature is also vicious. And the scavengers come to clean up what is remaining of the zebra kill from the lions. The hyenas and the jackals come in amidst the marabou storks, and all of them look for whatever morsels they can find of what was left of this zebra. And in fact, there will be nothing left of this zebra within a day to indicate that he ever existed. The hyenas actually like to clean up in a mud hole. They seem to be the dirtiest animals, despised by everyone, but in many ways, as Steve thinks, they're the most clever and successful predator and scavenger in all of Africa. So after this big meal, the lions always seem so lazy because they do their hunting and their stalking at night. And during the day, after they're done eating, they spend most of the day just looking for a place to rest and camp out and relax, and they seem to be so lazy. But they're storing up energy which they'll need for the nighttime activity where they must hunt again in order to feed their giant bodies. Some of these lions rest up high where they'll have a good vantage point for the nighttime hunting, the hunting that has to come every evening if they are to be able to stay alive and feed themselves. Now, not all these herbivores are easy prey for lions or leopards. Lions can take down a Cape buffalo, but with great difficulty, and they don't want to do it. Snakes, which are also afraid of, are easy prey for these secretary birds, even poison snakes that look for them on the ground and can sneak up and peck at them and kill them with amazing speed. So nothing is really safe in the wilderness except for the elephant. It's rare to find a hippopotamus during the day out in the open like this because they need to be in the water during the day and they come out to feed at night. But if you're in their way when they're making their desperate run for the water, then you'll be killed. The crocodile is the most unseemly predator because he just lays perfectly still, and you wouldn't even think he's alive. You would think he's just a log until the prey was in sight. Leopard cubs are fighting in a tree, and it's just play fighting, but they must do this as little cubs for their whole life in order to develop the incredible skills they'll need to be able to hunt at night, to catch the monkeys and to catch the zebras and to catch the wildebeests that they're going to need to live on and survive. Life is difficult for these predators. It's very, very dangerous to be a predator. These fast monkeys, believe it or not, are the best prey for leopards. They live in a tree most of the time, and the leopards go up in that tree easily, and they're so fast at night. This is one of their major sources of food. This little monkey that looks so much like a human, so much like us, as they walk across the plain and they walk up in the trees, these monkeys and these baboons that are so human-like, both on the ground and in the trees, have to worry constantly about being attacked. The giraffes are above it all. Certainly, a team of lions can kill a giraffe just by grabbing its leg and bringing it down. But by and large, the giraffes can see so far that they really have a relatively peaceful life, and it's only the occasional unlucky giraffe that gets killed by the lion. They absolutely grow to this huge height with such a meager diet of acacia leaves, just like the elephant. It's hard to believe. But aside from the predators, these giraffes have to worry about weather. We encountered 50-mile-per-hour winds, and during this time are motionless, facing into the wind, and don't dare go anywhere because the wind could knock them over, and they resume their beautiful prance through the wilderness looking for more leaves to eat after the weather clears. As I thought today to myself a bit about life and its tragic and its happy moments of greatness and beauty while I was fishing, I was not thinking like most fishermen do just about catching a fish, as that is only the first level of pleasure, very superficial. I was thinking as Hemingway did in The Old Man and the Sea, that our greatness in achieving a goal is more important than the permanence of that achievement, which is usually illusory anyway. We may catch a great fish like we did today, but the sharks will get them anyway and take it away from us. So the beauty of these fish is not lessened by our catching them, so long as we perceive their beauty and love them for it. And these fish truly are multicolored and beautiful. Then beauty is forever. Their beauty is forever, though they are not forever. The same is true of deep friendship and love. We may die someday. Well, we will die someday. But our love and friendship and the good which we stand for can never die. That is what I was thinking as I was fishing off the coast of Africa today.